Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Tracy, and I'm gonna be your friend and whatever you want to call me today. We'll go with that. I'm in that kind of a mood today. Spring is in the air, pollen is in the air, flowers are everywhere. So in the spirit of that, we're gonna go ahead and paint ourselves today a mason jar bouquet. So I'm gonna start by wetting my canvas. This just makes my acrylic blend a little bit better. We're gonna be doing a kind of a choppy blend on our background. It's my favorite background to do. And the reason it's my favorite is because we blend our color on the canvas. It's very random. It's a lot of fun. Everybody's having fun today. So for colors for our background, we are using, I do believe this is a burnt umber, and we have antique gold, and then titanium white. I am using my 1.5" flat, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick up quite a bit of this raw umber here, or burnt umber, sorry, and just a quarter's worth of the white. Now those of you who've watched the show have seen me do backgrounds like this before. It is my absolute favorite. I like the randomness to the color that you end up with. I'm gonna pick up some of the gold and a little bit more of this umber. Whoop. And that's why we put a tarp down, folks. I'm trying not to get so aggressive with my stroke. I just get really excited. Now, instead of the antique gold, if you wanted, you could use a yellow ochre. Would make a very nice blend with this particular color scheme we got going on here. Let's not be quite so aggressive with so much paint on my brush. I'll wait till we get it on there first. And then with this one, you want to make sure that before you walk away to let it dry a little bit, that you do run solid strokes from top to bottom. You want it to be blended to that point. You don't want your strokes choppy halfway up the canvas. Let's pick up some more of this umber and this gold, and what the heck, some white too. Looks like we need some more umber over here. Here we go. So now I know that my mason jar is going to live in this bottom right corner. So because I know that, I'm going to put a little bit more white and just a little bit more gold on this side. So that way the flowers that we put in our bouquet have something substantial to kind of contrast again. Something behind it that makes it pop. If your strokes aren't blending as smoothly as you would like them to, go ahead and just pick up some plain water on your brush. Nice and easy with that vertical stroke. All the way off, top and the bottom. You don't want to stop or you get stuff like this down here. There we go. Now when you're comfortable with the color that you've got going on your background, go ahead and stop and let your canvas dry. That, I do believe, is where I am at. This would be a good time to paint the sides of your canvas. I'm going to save that for when we're not on film. Maybe clean up this little bit right here. I'm going to go ahead and grab my hair dryer to save ourselves some time and encourage us to dry a little faster. And as soon as I get that done, we'll be right back to get that bouquet started. So now that we've dried our canvas, be it on its own or encouraged with a hairdryer like I did, we're ready to go ahead and put our mason jar in. So we're gonna put our mason jar down here in this right-hand corner. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick up my 1/4" angle brush. You can use a round if you prefer. I like to use my angle when I'm drawing lines for so many different reasons, mostly because you can change the width of your line and the thickness by the amount of pressure you put on your brush. It's not, you don't have to switch to a bigger brush like you do with a round. So we are going to, we're going to start right here. We're just going to go straight down. And the other side of the jar, we're just going to go straight down here. Pick up a little bit more white. Now let's do the top of the jar, how it rounds in right there like that. Again, this would normally be where I would pick up my canvas and just move it, but it's not doing it. There we go. Makes it really nice when your canvas is dry, and then you can just drag your hand down the canvas rather than having to try to hold it up and still get somewhat close to a straight line. So now we're going to do the mouth of our jar. Go off with that guy right there. For this next part, I'm going to water my white down a little bit. And because it's a rounded opening, instead of being a straight line, it's going to be arced. And then the bottom of the opening is going to twist the other direction. We're going to do the same thing right along here. There we go. Starting to look like a jar. I grew up in Eastern Oregon, and in Eastern Oregon, we put wheat in all of our bouquets. So, in the spirit of my hometown, we're gonna go ahead and put some wheat in, but we're gonna make our wheat this beautiful antique gold instead of a boring, bland, light yellow. So, let's see. Oh, see? My new is showing. If I were more experienced, I would have known that I should have waited to put on my outside edges, the side closest to me of the lip of my jar. I would have waited to put that on until after I got my bouquet done. But I didn't, so we're gonna paint right over the top of it and do it again when it's done. There we go. Do another one right here. Do one more. Oh, this one to go. Right there. Remembering that, wheat grows towards the sun. I'm just gonna make little flicks upward. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't kill yourself trying to make it perfect. Nothing in nature is asymmetrically perfect. Making it what, folks? Imperfectly perfect. I like that one a little bit. And have fun with it. Like, this is an easy painting to just have a lot of fun with. Go. Little flicks. All it takes. There we go. Rinse our brush off. Take a good look at what you got going on here. It's a good base. It's a really good start. And then after we get the rest of our bouquet, and we'll come back and we'll do some a couple more accents in there. So I'm going to switch to a super fun color that a girlfriend just turned me on to not too long ago. It's actually a folk art paint. It's a craft paint, but it's a color shift paint, and it's a metallic green. feeling very shiny these days, so I'm using a lot more metallics in my paints than I have in the past. Make sure you shake this one up really, really good. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, someone off screen. Could you please open that for me? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Noah. I appreciate you so much. Noah says you're welcome. All right. Pick up some of that green. I'm not even going to put this on my palette because I'm not going to use a whole lot of it. It's a pretty strong color. It's very... I'm going to go with powerful. It's a very strong, very powerful color. It can take over pretty easily, so you don't want to use too much of it. But... all right, folks, so we had a little technical problem, a little bit of technical difficulties with my microphone there. We got that handled and we're back in business. So what I was saying before we left was that this green it's a super strong color. It's very powerful. It's something that can take over your canvas very easily. So I'm not going to do a whole bunch more other than just the stalks with it. So we want this to be a nice full bouquet, so we're going to put a whole bunch in. There we go. And I think that that's probably going to do it for this beautiful color shift green. So now, I'm going to go into my primary yellow here. Excuse me, cadmium yellow. It's a cad yellow medium. And then I think we're going to put some black-eyed Susans in here. I think that's what you would call that flower. I'd love to put some lilies in it, but I don't know that my skills at painting lilies are up to snuff. I'd hate to do them a disservice. Let's see. We're just going to start painting stuff and see what happens. So, let's pick up our yellow, and I'm using a filbert now. Using a number 10 filbert, similar to your flat brush, only it's a lot more rounded. Not to be confused with a bright. A bright is also very similar to your flat and is rounded, but not as rounded as your filbert. It's not as, I don't know, pronounced. So I'm gonna come off of this stalk right here with this yellow. I'm just gonna bring it up like that. And all I'm doing is loading paint on my brush, setting the whole brush tip down like that, and lifting it up and twisting. So that way when I'm at the end of my stroke, I'm on the very edge of my brush. That's why it's good to pick up your canvas. But that's okay. No mistakes, just happy accidents, according to a brilliant man. Keep going with this theme we got going on here. Kind of got a pinwheel thing going on with it, don't we? Alright. Rinse your brush really good. Let's do some of this lake blue. What's ocean green is what this one is. It's funny, you'll find there's several different names for the same color depending on who makes it. I believe this is a fine touch paint. Oh my goodness. There we go. Thought I was gonna have to recruit Noah again. Depending on who makes it though, Fine Touch makes this. This is a Hobby Lobby's brand of paint and they call it Ocean Blue. I do believe Artist Loft has a similar color and they call theirs Lake Blue. I'm not sure what Winsor Newton or Liquitex or any, there's so many paint manufacturers out there. You just gotta find a color that you like and hope that you can get it to match. Hopefully you can find the same brand and it'll all work out really well for you, but if not, hopefully you can get one that's a close second. So now that we've got this ocean/lake blue on there, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to an even bigger brush. We're gonna come way out here with this one. Similar style of flower, only we're using our flat this time. one kind of reminds me of the flower that I grew in my garden last year. There we go, and then we're gonna bring that in there. Kind of wild looking flowers. And we're gonna throw some magenta in there. Now again, we're just having fun with this today. This isn't, I was just feeling very floral. I was feeling spring in the air, and there we go. My nephew loves that part. Sweetest little painter in the world. My nephew will be 3 in July, so he likes anything that sounds like it could be inappropriate. It's fun. So, I'm gonna go ahead and rest my hand on the top of the canvas here just because it gives me something to hang on to. We're gonna bring this around, just like so. And again, I'm not trying to emulate any flower in specifically. We're just having fun with it. We are still a little bit wet right there. So no more resting your hand on the canvas. And just have fun with it. Even if you don't like the way your flowers are turning out, you can always go back and change them. This is definitely not how this one's gonna finish up. I'm gonna go before it's all said and done. And maybe later. Sometimes I like to let stuff sit there for a while. Take the time to think about it. We're just gonna get this block of color on here right here because I like it. And keep in mind that at some point your painting is going to look like a super awkward teenager. That's how I like to think of it. It's not gonna be perfect the whole time through. Go back to our angle. We're gonna pick up some more of this beautiful magenta we got here. And I'm just gonna draw some in right there, just because I want to. So I do this pour art, and there's a technique called a string pull that you can do that comes out looking like flowers. I'd like to call them a dragon lily because I'm dragging the string. There we go. There we go. You know, we're just gonna start putting in flowers. We're just gonna put a little something at the top of each one of our stalks here. And stick with my angle. Oh. Again, thank you for the tarp. I think I painted my toenails actually with that one. There's another one. I have an idea of something that might be kind of fun. Let's try to Donna Doolittle one of these petals. Now, in case those of you who don't know, that's an actual person. She is known for her one-stroke painting. Super fun technique. I'm gonna pick up a larger brush. We're gonna use our flat. So 1-inch flat brush. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick up a corner's worth of the blue. I'm gonna pick up a corner's worth of my pink. And I'm gonna put it right there. Now you wanna make sure that you don't flip your brush over. You wanna have the blue on the blue and the pink on the pink. We're gonna pick up a little bit more of this blue. And then I'm gonna go right here. I remember how I did this last time. So it's bring it down and up. Yeah, just like that. Pick up a little bit more. And This is a fun technique. It takes some time to get it down, but once you do, it's fun. It's fun to just play with anyway. There we go. A little half of one back there in the corner. What else have we got going on here today? Do one right here. And one more right here. Bring down, back up. There we go. Rinse your brush off really good. And then we're gonna pick up our different shade of green and we're gonna put in some of the leaves. Now, if you are not super comfortable with hand placement, say if you feel like you're the type of person that really needs to have your hand on the canvas, then I wouldn't rush the painting like I am. I would definitely take the time to let your canvas dry a little bit in between each different color that you're putting on. In the effort to save ourselves a little bit of time today, I'm kind of rushing it a little bit more than I probably should, but it's all right. So, make sure you're not having paint on your hand. We're gonna go ahead and put in some leaves right here. There we go. Put a little leaf right there. Pick up some more of this green. Put one right here. And one more right here. So I am gonna let my canvas dry a little bit more before I put in the centers of my flowers. And while I'm letting the flower heads dry, I'm just gonna keep working on my foliage down here. And I'll see you folks in just a moment. Here we go. So through the magic of television, we have managed to put all this foliage in the short amount of time that we were gone. We've given our flower heads enough time to dry that we can actually finish them off with our accents, and that's all I'm gonna do at this point. And you can do as much or as little accenting as you would like. I'm gonna put a little yellow right here in the center of this guy. And a lot of yellow at the top of this one. And just a little bit right here in this guy too. There we go. Rinse your brush really good. And then I'm gonna go into this teeny tiny little script liner that I have with my white. I'm just gonna accent these petals just a little bit. Careful of the wet paint. And that one right there. That's all you really need to do with this one. If you feel like doing more, go ahead. Just add more little accents. It changes the whole look of it. It goes from just a blob of color to something. Let's switch over to my angle brush now. I'm gonna pick up some of this straight white. We're gonna go right over the top of this jar here, the part that I should have saved for last in the first place. There's that one. There's this one. Keep in mind which one's the front and which one's the back. And then we're gonna pick up a little more white. We're just gonna add an accent right here. There we go. Add one more right here. And make sure you arc these just a little bit. It provides shape. And then we're gonna bring that one like that, one like that, one like that. You can, if you have more time at home, you can take a little extra time to make sure that you get that, I guess a little bit. It could be cleaned up a little bit. I could have been a little straighter with my stroke, but I just want to give you guys an idea of what we were doing with it. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this raw umber that I have. I'm just gonna run a couple of those with the white in the background. Just don't go through your flowers or anything, just put it in, so it gives you kind of some depth in the back. Looks like I've got more white than anything on here, but that's okay. And just have fun with this one, folks. This is just kind of a fun, easy way to practice your stroke, play with colors, and just basically all in all have a really good time doing it. So I'm gonna call that one done for the day. Again, there's a lot more that you could do with it once you get it home. Probably more that I'll end up doing with it before I'm all said and done with it. Chances are it's gonna go home and hang on my wall for a couple of months, and I'll walk into the room one day and I'll say, oh, that's what that needs. But for now, we're gonna sign it. We're gonna sign this one, and we're gonna Donna Doolittle our signature today. We're gonna do the ocean blue and the magenta. There we are. Well, folks, once again, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me for a little bit of painting today. I hope that you all enjoy it as much as I do. Got a lot of paint left over. I'm gonna have to paint something else, I guess. Well, folks, thanks so much for coming, and I hope to see y'all again.